Violent suspected serial rapist is in custody and off the streets.
Their bodies were left in the backseat of a pickup truck on a rural stretch of road in central Florida.
The hitman charged with 9 murders in California has confessed to killing even more people while working for a drug cartel.
Riverside County officials announced the arrest of Jose Manuel Martinez Garcia.
I would do anything for my family. I mean anything, my life. Whatever they want, I give them. You can't imagine what people have told me when they hired me to go and kill a person for them. About 36 people.
Imagine a really dangerous person, a killer who was unlike anyone else. This person went around for many years, leaving behind a lot of dead bodies all over the country, but nobody knew who they were. This wasn't a Hollywood movie villain. This was a real person, and his name was Jose Manuel Martinez Omano, but he was also known as El Mano Negra, the Black Hand. For more than 30 years, the black man, who didn't want to be caught by the police, became one of America's most dangerous hitmen. His story isn't just about violence, it's also about revenge, lying, and how cops chased him all over the country.
For 30 years, and police from 3 different states to bring him down.
Jose's early life hints at what might have pushed him towards his dark path. Growing up in a rural area with a stepfather involved in the drug trade, he faced some tough realities.
Was involved in the moving of large amounts of narcotics, drugs from Mexico through California and to points beyond.
Could there have been a feeling of being alone or building anger that no one noticed? Fast forward to 1978. Something awful happened to the Martinez family. We don't know all the details about the murder of Jose's sister, Cecilia.
At that time, that's when my sister got murdered.
But after that, Jose changed in a scary way. The regular teenager was gone, leaving behind lots of questions and one scary hint: he wanted justice. Jose vanished after Cecilia's murder. When he came back years later, he was a skilled criminal. At just 14, he was already making drug deals for his stepfather.
My stepdad got busted on 78. Okay, I started selling drugs and I was 16 years old.
His fluency in Spanish making him a valuable asset.
That's your stepdad's Pedro.
Pedro Fernandez. My stepdad was a drug dealer.
But this was just the start of his journey into a world of violence. Martinez wasn't a typical serial killer. He wasn't a notorious gangster driven by media attention or a crazed person seeking personal satisfaction. Mexican drug partnerships used him as a chillingly efficient killer in the shadows.
I locked the door. When I turned out, I had my guns out.
His victims, targeted for debts, betrayals, or simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And his killings stretched across many states: California, Illinois, Florida, and maybe even more. In 1982, Jose met a figure believed to be from the infamous Sinaloa cartel, Mr. X. This meeting shaped Jose's future. Mr. X became a source of work, tasking Jose with collecting debts and getting rid of those who crossed the line. Jose, now known as El Mano Negra, carried out these tasks with ruthless efficiency, often using zip ties to bind his victims.
Martinez surveilled his victims for 3 days.
El Mano Negra operated in the shadows. He targeted low-profile individuals, making investigations difficult due to limited resources. Police investigations were restricted due to insufficient evidence and limited resources. Despite his name appearing in several homicide cases, authorities failed to connect the dots. The year 2006 marked a turning point. El Mano Negra traveled to Florida to deal with a drug thief. After days of surveillance, he killed the man and his colleague, leaving their bodies in a truck.
I took my gun and shot him so he can listen to me next time.
A crucial piece of evidence, a cigarette butt, was found at the scene, but a DNA test was delayed. Back in California, El Mano Negra continued his deadly work. In 2009, he murdered Joaquin Barragan in Irlamart.
Multiple murders, lying in wait, kidnapping, and murder for financial gain.
People talked about El Mano Negra's involvement, but the cops didn't have solid proof.
No leads until we picked it up and started going back.
Feeling untouchable, Jose even approached the police, offering information on a crew in exchange for his seized car. Despite a failed lie detector test, he walked free. Frustrated and desperate, El Mano Negra made a fatal mistake in 2013. He decided to kill a friend of his daughter's partner, leading to the man's arrest.
Martinez was arrested in Arizona while attempting to cross the border from Mexico.
This time, the victim's friend involved El Mano Negra, and the Florida case from 2006 was reopened. The DNA test on the cigarette butt finally connected him to the murders. After being confronted by the authorities, El Mano Negra surprisingly confessed to the murders in Florida and Alabama.
Watts says Martinez confessed to the Florida killings right away.
This confession triggered a chain reaction, leading him to admit to over 35 killings across multiple states. Authorities carefully investigated each confession, verifying details before accepting them.
Detective Watts says Martinez told him he had killed more than 30 people since he was 16 years old.
El Mano Negra's reign of terror came to an end. He received multiple life sentences without the possibility of being released, ensuring he would never walk free again. The families of his victims, though forever scarred, finally had a sense of closure. The El Mano Negra case exposed a disturbing truth. Not all murders receive equal attention. The victims, often from minority communities, were initially overlooked. This case highlighted the need for increased resources and a renewed focus on ensuring justice for all.
Shot him in the head. With a 22. Took my gun and I shot him inside the car.
The El Mano Negra case dominated headlines for a while, but the human cost often gets overshadowed. Behind the cold case files and dramatic courtroom scenes lie shattered lives. Families of the victims continue to cope with the loss of loved ones, mothers, fathers, children, siblings. The pain of their absence is a constant reminder of El Mano Negra's cruelty. Imagine a child losing a parent to a senseless murder. The emotional impact is devastating. These children, robbed of their futures with their parents, face a lifetime of unanswered questions and a profound sense of loss. The impact of El Mano Negra's actions extends far beyond the immediate victims. The search for answers. Despite the convictions, some questions remain unanswered. The full extent of El Mano Negra's involvement with the Sinaloa cartel and other criminal organizations is unclear. Additionally, the events surrounding his sister Cecilia's murder in 1978 continue to be a source of speculation. Perhaps further investigation will shed light on these lingering mysteries. The El Mano Negra case reflects a broader issue, the prevalence of violent crime. Understanding the factors that contribute to violence, such as poverty, lack of opportunity, and exposure to criminal activity, is crucial for prevention. El Mano Negra's story serves as a springboard for discussions on how to create safer communities and address the root causes of violence. While El Mano Negra may never face true guilt, his capture and conviction brought some measure of justice for the victims' families. Their stories, though tragic, serve as a reminder of the importance of fighting for justice, no matter how long it takes. El Mano Negra's reign of terror may be over, but his story continues to resonate. It's a story of a life gone wrong, of missed opportunities, and the devastating consequences of violence. It's a story with lessons to be learned, a reminder to be alert, and to fight for a world where such tragedies have become a rarity. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.